When you're so young and tender, comes as no surprise. Must be ready first time that you open your eyes. There is safety in numbers, together you thrive. You were drawn to the flock that will keep you alive. Dusk is cooling skies in late September. The summer song can never last. Distant southern skies are calling. Return again when winter's past. Then you must start the onward journey.
Hello, welcome back to Sound and Nature Suffolk. So I'm out on a little solo trip today. I've got my hot tent. It's a bit of a grey grim day, so it's a good day to come and test it. I've got a new stove by Winnerwell. It's the Nomad in small, which I've only test used once before, so I'm going to give that a proper run through today. And I've also got a fairly new Luxe Minipeak XL, which is the square hot tent. You would have seen before in other videos that I used to have the One Tiger Smoky Hut, which is a brilliant tent, and I really enjoyed it. I actually upgraded the inner for that to a 1.5. That was from Luxe as well, and I just loved the quality of the Luxe kit, so I ended up buying the bullet and bought a Luxe tent. Yeah, see how we get on. So this is also a bit of a test run for this new pack that I've got. It's a Fjallraven Stuben, which is made from the G1000 material, same as the Vita Pros and their jackets and all the rest of the kit. And it's just a great bag, as well as being, it's 28 litre I think, so it's kind of more for day trips and stuff, but I've kind of just strapped tents at the top and my sleep system to the bottom, and I can still get everything in for an overnight. So yeah, I mean, I'm just absolutely in love with it. It's brilliant, really nice material. It's got this zip around the front, so you can open it from the front, so you can easy access rather than having to get everything through the top, as well as a pocket here, and then you have to get the side pockets separate, which is a bit annoying because Fjallraven is quite expensive, as you probably well know. But yeah, with the two side pockets, it's just brilliant. And the best thing about it is it's actually got a frame built into the pack, so you can also use it as a seat, which is just excellent. So if you're on a trip and you need a quick break, you can just sling your bag off and sit down on top of it. So yeah, great new thing. Nice to see the daffodils are starting to spring through. Must be quite a few bulbs in this little woodland, I reckon. So it's about 4:30, so I'm going to get the tent set up and set the stove and stuff up, and hopefully be able to get a brew on once I get a fire going. I've split a load of wood and stuff, some of it's a bit soft, but yeah, we'll see how we get on. I've got quite a bit, so yeah, I can always do a bit more later on. So yeah, we'll see how the tent goes together. So when you buy this from Luxe, they also sell these little mushroom things. I got this from Backpacking Light, which is the UK seller for Luxe stuff. Bought one, whereas I probably should have bought two, but as someone pointed out to me before via a YouTube comment, half a tennis ball actually does the trick for any kind of poles, or you can use these for chairs if you find that legs sink in the ground, that kind of thing. So yeah, I'm just using half a tennis ball for the bottom and then this plastic mushroom for the top, so the pole doesn't rip through the material if you have a bit of wind or whatever. So yeah. So as you can see, it's pretty massive. I reckon you could easily fit like 2 or 3 or 4 people in here. I mean, it's very comfortable for one person. Would be comfortable for 2. Obviously the stove kind of goes here, so that restricts you to this kind of half, but then you've got all this room for all your kit. So yeah, it's a much bigger tent than the smoky hut that I used to have. Just from it being a square, basically. Obviously the smoky hut's more of a kind of round hexagonal tent, but yeah, so I'll stick the inner in and chuck my bed out and that kind of thing, and then I'm going to get the stove on and boil up some water and have a cup of tea. This Winnerwell stove is the Nomad, the small. I also went for the triple walled bit that goes through the tent, just to kind of really make sure it's nice and safe and the chimney's not going to burn any holes. Yeah, I was pretty chuffed because I was just about to bite the bullet on this, and it's a few £100. And then this one came up on Facebook, second hand. So it was a nice bit of timing. So I managed to get it for about half the price. But yeah, it's a lovely little thing. It's actually much lighter than my other stove that I had. And a lot more gadgets and a lot nicer looking. And it also comes with a damper, which basically just lets you control the flow a lot more inside there. There's the stove jack. Which actually is a proper one that comes with the tent, so you don't have to muck around, and it also has Velcro on the outside, which is nice. So there's an extra bit of material that comes, so if you want to leave the stove jack installed in the tent but still cover it up if you're not using the stove, then that's a nice option. But yeah, put that on in a bit. Fire gloves. This is just my little fire mat to stand the stove on. Something like that. There you go, chimney all in place. Nice thing about this is the chimney is super tall. I think it's a 3 metre, so it just means you've got loads of clearance before the tent, because that was one of the things I found in my other tent, was that the odd spark would drop down and there was little kind of pinholes appearing, whereas so far so good with this one. What I tend to do is, once the stove's out here, I just use this as wood store basically. Just keeps everything together. I've got one of these Thermarest Trekker chairs, basically designed just to take a like a roll mat, inflatable mat. Just the job. Had this table for absolutely ages now. It's one of the first things I bought when I first got into wild camping. So it's a bit worse for wear, but to be honest, for 13 quid I think it was on Amazon, it's lasted really well. It's just really lightweight. I've bought a few other tables since then, but still really like this one, to be honest. This is the lightest out of them all. A bit grubby, but it does the trick. So I think I'm going to get the fire lit and get some water on. Probably been here a couple of hours by now, and I still haven't had a cup of tea, which is criminal really. So yeah, I think I'm going to use some of these, like, I think they're called Twizzlers, which are just like super easy to light fire lighters. Not very bushcrafty, but super easy. And this is a bit of a luxurious kind of solo one, so get this loaded up with a load of little bits, a couple of bigger bits. So the stove's basically got a couple of different settings for the airflow. So you can have it fully open, or just a little gap, or completely closed. When I had my little test burn in it, I managed to kind of get it working, so it'll probably take me a half hour or so to get used to it again. But yeah, just love this little stove, just looks so nice. And the fact it's lighter is a big joy really. Yeah, we'll see how we get on. Bought a load of these a couple of weeks ago. Save bringing milk in a bottle, which takes up loads of space. They're just UHT little pouches. So yeah, added them to my little brew kit. Nice thing about this little kettle is the Handle's designed so you don't burn yourself, so even when the kettle's really hot, the handle stays cold. So as with like any hot tenting, I've said this before, but it's always one to make note of really. Got myself a little carbon monoxide alarm for my old stove, so I always bring this along. Just have it in the tent, just because obviously you are burning fuel inside a small space, so yeah, it's worth having this. Just so if suddenly something did start leaking out carbon monoxide, then you'll know. This is the first video for a little while. Basically work kind of took me away from doing this quite a bit. I've been really busy last kind of 6 months or so, but the woodlands where I am now, I've actually just been given permission off the landowner to use it for a bit of camping and bushcrafty stuff, so hopefully I'm going to be doing a few more videos over the coming months, and hopefully might be out with Glyn again soon. Really want to continue the Angles Way Trail. We did part 1 of that, but then got kind of busy with work over summer last year, and then Christmas, and also had another little one and stuff, so yeah, life kind of just gets in the way sometimes, doesn't it? But yeah, I'm hoping to get out a bit more. I have been out a few times recently with a few mates, and even brought my old man out on a trip, which was nice, but it's just filming it sometimes takes away from the fun, so I've been kind of actually just enjoying it for a bit. But yeah, I'm hoping to film a few more. I've got quite a few different setups now, so it would be nice to kind of get some films up of each setup, and as well as I've got a few other ideas, and also want to get out in the boats as well, because I haven't been out in my boat for, I don't know, probably getting on for a year now, which is tragic really, but yeah, once the weather gets a bit better, it'd be nice to get the boats out and do some more paddle trips and that kind of thing. But yeah, today's just a good excuse to get the little stove out and do a bit of hot tenting. It's definitely cold enough. I've battened down the hatches now, I've done the flap up, and yeah, it's getting well toasty in here, and a nice cup of tea. But yeah, I'll think about putting some dinner on soon. I've got an American MRE thing to try, which is chili and beans. So I've never had the American ones before, so yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Some people say they're a bit sweet, but I've got quite a sweet tooth, so I'm sure it'll be fine. But yeah, lovely and toasty though, nice and comfortable. So I open the little flaps, allows a bit more airflow through the top. We've just got these little spreader bars inside with Velcro. Chilli. As you can hear, this is a bit of a rookery. One of the meetups of all the crows around here. reckon that dinner's probably getting there. It's been boiling for probably, I don't know, 5-10 minutes, something like that. So yeah, tip the water out and see what the chili and beans is like. I made a slight error in the fact that I haven't brought my big spoon for getting into the bottom of these pouches, but I have got a teaspoon, so that'll have to do. I've actually just found a spoon in my little food package. It came with a different MRE kit, so that was handy. Yeah, it looks pretty good. It smells lovely. It smells really good. Yeah, that's well tasty. Oh, got a bit of a kick actually. Cheers. So I'm probably gonna start setting up my bed, that kind of thing. It's just so nice and cosy in here. Wind's kind of picked up a little bit, but yeah, it's just really toasty, really cosy. Got tea, full belly, nice and warm. What more can you ask for? Right, good night everyone. I'm all kind of squared away. I'm gonna get some sleep and yeah, get up pretty early. I've got to get home for about kind of 10:30, something like that. So need to get up early, have some breakfast, and then pack down and walk back. So yeah, I'll leave it here and I'll see you in the morning. Morning. So slept really well. It was a little bit windy last night, so I kind of went to sleep to the sound of a few trees blowing around, but other than that, yeah, super comfortable. Nice and warm. I stuck a big bit of wood on the fire just before I zipped up, and yeah, that kind of kept me warm for a few hours, but a sleeping bag keeps me warm no matter what anyway, really. So yeah, really nice night. So I'm gonna get some coffee on, cook some breakfast, and then I'll pack down and walk back. Such a lovely way to wake up though. Wake up, light the stove, coffee on, you don't even have to get out of bed. Got this sausage and beans from the British MRE packs. MRE meals I'd try, the more I realise they're just so easy and really tasty. Maybe just a few minutes boiling up, just barely any weight to bring with you. It's just like the perfect thing for a little easy meal. Right, that's pretty much me all packed up, squared away. So yeah, gonna walk back. I'll leave it here, but thanks for joining me, and I'll see you again soon. Nice one.